Hi, my name is Chris Liddle, and I am the host of The Lifestyle Chase. In 2018, I started this show to have meaningful conversations. I've interviewed over 100 different people, both in and out of the fitness industry. This podcast is something I'm incredibly proud of. Welcome to Season 4. Thanks for joining me. Here we are back at the Lifestyle Chase. This is episode 215, and I've brought back my friend from Australia, Mr. Will Crozier. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. It's kicking off the new year strong. So, yeah, glad to be on, man. First podcast for the year.
Well, it's super cool because we're actually doing like a redo interview, because before we lost the audio. Now we were going to have the audio. We're rocking and rolling. And with that being said, I've had a lot of time to catch up with you. So I feel like I've known you better because we had like that hour of a visit before. And as we were preparing for this episode, I had some knowledge that got me fired up with your new gym. So like, let's just hop right into it. Tell me about your new venture that you're doing over there.
Yeah, last time we spoke, I think this was like just still in planning. Like it was a few months. Yeah, because I remember us kind of speaking about it, but then not speaking about it. So, yeah, it's full steam ahead right now. Everything is ordered. Everything is happening. Everything is ready to roll. The only thing that is holding us back from actually opening the doors is just deliveries. And obviously the world at the moment with freight and shipping and COVID and all the mess of that means that we're getting delays upon delays, but it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. So we're just sitting there playing a waiting game. But it is still open. We are training, like open privately anyway. We're just not trading fully to the public because there's not enough machines. They've already been lined up. But we're in there. We're doing it. We're hitting it, and it's fun. It's good to be part of like our own space, and we've got our own little team in there. Our PT, our one-on-one coach in there, who is pretty much using it as a private studio. Our osteo in there, he's using it like as a little bit of a private practice, as well as us just using it as like a little bit of a private gym. So between all that, it's great vibes. So it's promising from already, like just the vibe, the team community vibe already. It's already there. So I can tell it's going to be great.
So if you had a way to describe like the vibe or the community feel that your facility has, how would you describe it?
Yes. Well, we've been online for like 8 or so years, I think, off the top of my head, coaching mainly strength athletes, but a whole variety of people. And the gym was never the way that we wanted to go, because it was kind of like we do well online. I enjoy coaching online, and just having a physical location seems like a burden and a lot of costs for better than where we're at. So it's taken a long time to get to the point where we were open to that idea. And now the only reason that is open to that idea is because we can have, as I said, like other coaches and their staff members of our own in there to man that while we still handle this online world and still do it both. But now we can have a place for all these online coached people to have a space and to build a little bit of a stronger community. Because you would know, like online, a little harder to connect, a little hard. Like you can have your little Facebook groups with the team in it and stuff like that, but it's just not the same. It's not the same with people walking in, seeing smiles on people's faces, fist bumping, hitting PBs together, cheering for each other, that sort of thing. It's just not the same. It is only a small facility. It's a gym. It's a gym in the sense that obviously people are there and they're training together, but not a facility where anybody can just walk in and train or sign up to train. Like you have to be coached by us as Nexus. So everybody in there is going to be coached. So hopefully they'll know what they're doing a bit more, and will know each other and be willing to create that culture that we're looking for. So it's a bit of a small, private, help each other out type vibe, as opposed to, commercial gym where you don't know really, like there's a bunch of people just not knowing what they're doing, looking at each other out the side of their eye, trying to see what see what the big guys doing so they can do the same thing type thing. You know, like we want everybody on the same page, know why they're there, know what they're headed towards, and have a clear path for that.
Love it. I mean, there's a few things that you kind of pointed out as you described, like the vibe and just the journey towards the gym. And the things that I wanted to call out were just like, we're at the beginning of a year. You talked about the pivots that you had to make as a gym owner with the equipment coming in and like the obstacles that aren't really in your control. How do you, as an individual, just you, navigate like the stresses of that? Like when things aren't going your way, like how do you keep like plugging along, keep moving forward?
Like I said, there's only the things that aren't happening at the moment. The shipping is just literally out of my control. Like I can send as many angry emails as I want, and they're just going to tell me like, awesome. Cool. Just wait. Keep waiting. We might tack on some more time if I'm lucky. You know what I mean? Like the equipment's coming from over there in Canada and in America and things like that. So it's a long journey, and I understand. It's something I can't control. So there's no point me sitting here just getting all anxious and angry about it. It just is what it is. I just have to cross my fingers and hope. But there is always something you can do. So I think in business, there's always something. There's, building out more systems. In creating a gym, there's a ton of systems to make, even though we are coming from an online coaching system where like a lot of things are built, but a physical location brings a lot more systems, a lot more dealing with people type things that we need to figure out. And so there's been plenty of stuff to keep us busy. It's not just been like fixated on the negative stuff. There's always stuff to do.
Definitely. I mean, you talk about systems and like I'm working with a friend out of the US and he has an online training business. And so he's building out systems as to how would we train the next person? How would we train the next person? How would we avoid doing the same mistake to two different clients kind of thing? Within your journey of creating your systems, what has been the thing that kind of stands out when you're reflecting on what you've learned during that time?
Man, well, we're lucky that the online side of things has taught us a ton over the years. Like the coaching system, the actual coaching systems are obviously handled because we're just porting that to an online space. But the fact of having like a physical location with rent, with electricity, with all these other things that costs a ton of money, like just so much stuff, like, and also just dealing with staff as well, like in-person staff, has been a steep learning curve, I guess. Like we've had staff online, but it's a different ball game. It's new, it's different, and just having lots of people in a location, it's just a different animal. It's the same, but it's different. It's just still need systems, but very different. Having like clear defined roles for people in there, like managers and things like that, like just things we're just not used to having that because like online is just, like I said, it's just a different world. So yeah, I guess I can't think of exactly one thing that stands out, but just the things that we thought maybe weren't going to be a whole lot different between them, but there have been just differences that we had to tweak this and tweak that.
Well, one thing, like when we were chatting in our prior episode, which ended up disappearing, we chatted about like just developing people on the team and how to like foster new strengths in people that are coming up in their ranks and make people feel confident and things like that. So why don't we kind of dive down the rabbit hole with that? Like when you're working with someone who might have less experience or might be less confident, what are the things that you do that you find to be effective in turning them into a leader and giving them some autonomy in their journey?
As in our coaches?
Yeah, like could be your coaches or just like throughout your career as you've had like people who are more green than you are kind of thing.
Yeah, it's for us, we have, even though we've always been, like I said, we've always been online. So it hasn't been like seeing each other face to face and being able to pick up on what people are doing. So like lots of monitoring systems and just mentoring, a lot of it. So like I have a call with all of our strength coaches individually and as a group throughout the week. We go through both educational material, but then also just like client problems that we're having, lots of problem solving stuff like that, like where we spend a lot of time with them, just constantly, just like you said before, like when you're with your friend who like a problem's come up, okay, like let's write a system, or like let's optimize the system to bridge that gap, to make that better, so that doesn't happen again. Because it's not like shit's just not going to go wrong. Shit is constantly going wrong. If you're doing it right, it's constantly going wrong anyway. And the only way you can kind of go backwards is if you just keep making that same mistake over and over. So it's just like asking them, you know, what's going wrong? What feedback are people giving you? What problems are you having? What's taking up too much time? All that stuff, and just finding solutions or ways around it, or just little optimizations to make that a little bit smoother, I guess. And then just being, for us, it's really important that we are making them feel like they're just on the same level of us, like as a team, almost like we're a team, not, hey, go do this. This is your job, and kind of boss mode. Has to be those moments, but we're really always like, we're always on Slack. We're always chatting. We're always talking shit. Like it's a really flowy team environment. I think in our space, especially where we're dealing with people and constantly, that's super important.
Well, I mean, I've been doing some retail work, some contracting and stuff over the last few years, and it's given me opportunities to see teams evolve in an in-person setting. And what I've learned is like just the value of like pointing out somebody's strength, like just being like, hey, like I noticed that you did that one thing really, really well. I don't think anybody else in this room can do it better than you. And then you just see a person just light up, and all of a sudden, like they're able to apply that confidence into another task that they're doing. But if we don't realize like the power of that kind of a feedback, then we miss out on like the potential that that person brings. Does that kind of ring a bell for you? Has that ever happened for you?
Yeah, absolutely. All of our staff have their own little unique. They're different people, different lives, right? Like they have their little unique strengths and weaknesses. Some of the, like if we hone in on a specific thing, like putting out content or whatever, like some of them aren't the best writers, can't put things in context as well, but they can speak really well. Or some of them they want to work with a certain type of clientele, and that's fine. They even our coaching systems, like for me and our other head coach Zach, we coach differently. Like we're different people. Like we have different ways that we like to get our points across, and that we like to, like, it's not like we have clear systems and go like, this is what the process should be. But when it comes to coaching, it's a personal process. So like we're going to have these little differences as well. So yeah, absolutely. Everybody's going to be different. It would be stupid to try and make every single decision that they make black and white. Otherwise we may as well hire like a virtual assistant for $10 an hour or whatever, and just be like, okay, you just just answer this when they say that. Like, unfortunately, people don't, like I think we talked last time about people aren't robots. Mm-hmm. They don't have inputs and outputs. I can't just go like do X volume and you will get stronger. Like it doesn't happen like that. Coaching is very personal, very, very unique person to person kind of journey.